Welcome to NeoEnglish, your daily podcast to help you speak practical English with confidence. Today, we'll talk about an important news story, a Salmonella outbreak connected to eggs.
Let's start with some simple background. In some western and midwestern states in the U.S., dozens of people have become sick because of Salmonella. The government says the sickness is linked to eggs from the August Egg Company.
Let's explain what Salmonella means. Salmonella is a type of bacteria that can make people very sick, especially if it gets into food. For example, if you eat eggs or chicken that are not cooked fully, you might get sick from Salmonella. Another example is when people forget to wash their hands after touching raw eggs and then touch their mouth.
Yes, Salmonella can cause serious stomach problems like vomiting and diarrhea. It is important to be careful with eggs and always cook them well.
Now, let's explain the word outbreak. An outbreak is when a disease suddenly appears in many people at the same time. For example, if many people in one school get the flu in 1 week, that is an outbreak. Another example is when a city has a sudden increase in COVID-19 cases. That's also called an outbreak.
The news also talks about a recall. A recall is when a company asks for a product to be returned because it is not safe. For example, if a company finds that its cars have a dangerous problem, it recalls the cars. Or if food can make people sick, the company will recall that food.
In this story, the August Egg Company recalled about 1.7 million eggs. They wanted people to return these eggs because they might have Salmonella.
The eggs in the recall are brown organic eggs and brown cage-free eggs. Let's explain these terms. Organic foods are grown or made without chemicals. For example, organic apples are grown without chemical sprays. Another example, organic chicken is raised without antibiotics.
Cage-free means that chickens can move around freely, not kept inside small cages all day. For example, cage-free chickens can walk inside a barn. Or sometimes they even go outside for fresh air.
Now, let's talk about the states in the West and Midwest. The West includes states like California, Oregon, and Washington. The Midwest includes states like Illinois, Wisconsin, and Michigan.
Let's review the main points of the story. There was a Salmonella outbreak in 7 states. Many people became sick. The eggs came from the August Egg Company. So the company recalled about 1.7 million eggs. These are brown organic and brown cage-free eggs.
If you hear about a recall, you should not eat or use that product. For example, if you have eggs that are recalled, do not eat them. Return them to the store or throw them away.
Let's recap the key vocabulary. Salmonella, a bacteria that makes people sick, especially from food. Outbreak, when many people get sick at the same time. Recall, when a company asks for products to be returned. Organic, grown, or made without chemicals. Cage-free, animals are not kept in small cages.
Some useful phrases from today. Linked to means connected to. Example, the sickness was linked to eggs. Another example, the problem is linked to the weather. Federal health officials. These are government experts who help keep people healthy. Example, federal health officials warned about the outbreak.
Let's hear the story one more time, in simple words. In 7 states of the U.S., many people got sick from eating eggs that had Salmonella. The eggs were from the August Egg Company. The company decided to recall about 1.7 million eggs to keep people safe.
If you want to protect yourself, always cook eggs well, wash your hands, and check for recalls before eating food.
Remember, if you don't want to miss any daily news in simple English, subscribe to NeoEnglish.
Thanks for joining us today. See you tomorrow with more practical English and important news. Bye.
Bye. Stay safe and keep learning English every day.